Back for round 2. Won the die roll. Rakdos plays first. Rakdos keeps this hand. Yeah, I think so. Hellhole Flailer's pretty good. Chances are we'll draw some of the fast stuff. And this guy with a Pursuit of Flight on him is pretty dang scary. My opponent is either taking a while on his mulligan decision or making a sandwich. Kind of hard to tell on Moto. Whereas if you were face to face, you could be like, yo dude, put the PB&J down and look at your cards. I'll pause it till he shows up. Alright, after a little bit of time, my opponent decides to keep. Just about a minute, that's fair. We'll go Guildgate into Swamp Flailer. With any luck, draw one of our 2 drops. Not gonna lie, I'd be pretty happy if it was a Pack Rat, but would accept a Tavern Swindler. Promenade, that works too. We've drawn that at very opportune times where there was a hole in the curve to play it. It probably look like a wacky 4-color deck now. Oh, hello Vitu-Ghazi Guildmage. That thing can take over a game pretty quick. Now, did I say there was a particular spell I wanted to get to put on the Hellhole Flailer? I think I did. Because his plan is going to be to block with the Centaur and sack it and not take damage. But that's not going to work out so good. Yeah, I got to get in this damage. And let's give him flying. And let's begin the beatdown. Now, he's going to make a world of horsies here in just a minute. Because the populate train is already starting. So he's going to hit us for 5 here. He can then populate on my turn, presuming he has a land. Coming in with both seems legitimate. Now we can kind of abyss the horsey train if we just keep attacking with this guy, but I think we want to try to kill him. It means we need to sneak in 1 more point of damage somewhere. Grim Roustabout is actually not terrible, because we can cast it and have regeneration mana up. That changes the race math a good bit, doesn't it? Because we can block 1. I could also play the Chainwalker just to stop this from attacking. Then we take 6 next turn. Let's make sure we've got this all figured out. So I need to hit him for 6, then untap, hit him for 6, and then burn it. So he's dead next turn. So I think a leashed Grim Roustabout is my best play here. What do we not want to see? Eyes in the Skies would be pretty terrible, wouldn't it? Could also have gone for the Perilous Shadow. Okay, he's just making a little dude. That's cool, make a dude. Wonder if he still... Yeah, he still gets in there with the Guild Mage. I haven't shown him any pump. There's no reason to play around it. Alright, let's regenerate you. And again, kind of go with the Rakdos strategy of, do you have it? Keening Apparition. Now that's a spell he could have. He needs to use it right now, though. Okay, he did. So what can we do to get out of this? If we attack with it, he's just going to kill it. That's a no good. Spawn just trades for the thing. So he's got a card that can run away with the game too. Interesting. We're at 8. We can't take another hit from all of these monsters. This guy can't block, so he's essentially useless. I guess we get in with him and play the spawn and trade it for 1? Ugh. Then we have to chump block 1. That just doesn't seem like a winning proposition to me. I'm not sure what we're going to draw to get out of this, but like our options are ping him for 4. This is only as a sorcery, isn't it? No? So we can block and throw it at a guy. And then what are we hoping to draw? I don't think there is anything. Like another Pursuit of Flight doesn't do it. He can't block anyway. I guess I can play the Chainwalker and the Splatter Thug. That just doesn't leave us in a good spot. Alright, let's stop dreaming and work this through. What are scenarios in which I can win? I'm going to need to draw removal for this. So we're going to need to swing in here, trade with one of these, play the Spawn of Rixmati and trade with another, and take 5 going to 3, and probably be dead. But I think that's the only series of events that get us out of this. He can't take this, so he has to trade. I may be able to prevent more damage by playing these guys leashed. Let's try that. No, you will be leashed. So that holds back one of the centaurs, and this blocks the other one, so we take no damage. Unless he wants to throw away his guild mage. I mean, we hold back the guild mage, we block 1, we take 3. It's not good for us, but we're not dead. He might be splashing a Supreme Verdict. Or he could have a Void Wielder. Yuck. So we're going to 3 and have no board except for a leashed Grim Roustabout. Alright. I don't think we have a draw that gets us out of this one, but let's take a peek anyway. Stab Wound. That would have been nice earlier. Because we're at 3, it does technically let us live, even though we're going to be doing some chump bloxing. So if we Stab Wound this guy and play the Gorehouse Chainwalker, then we're stuck chumping. I don't like chumping. And we'd still take 1. Is it worth it to show him the Stab Wound? I don't like conceding. I'd rather play it out until you're just dead. We're playing red-black. He can assume we have a Stab Wound. And again, don't think there's anything we can draw. Bluster Squall saves us a turn? That doesn't even sound very exciting. Maybe he'll show us another card. And he did. A Griffin. Alright, I believe you have that one, sir. So he's tokens... and a guild mage. I don't think we have anything specifically that deals with that. Our 2-drops are kind of weak against it, but I think we still have to go in fast, try to draw the Street Spasm. That can do some interesting things. Might want the Rakdos Charm too, but I think initially we'll just run it back as is. Still Rakdos, still want to play first. Oh, this one's fine. We got an aggressive dude and a removal spell and a way to ditch some extra lands. No 1-drop, but I'll take it. He's mulled to 6, which makes me happy. See if he has his turn 1 Centaur token dude. Nope. Yeah, the Promenade is not going to work now. We will unleash the Chainwalker. We do have an answer for the Guildmage should he get that. I think here, though, he's probably just going to trade it for a Chainwalker, which is not something I want to happen. Is it? Well, I certainly don't want to stab wound it. I guess my best play is to Racketeer first, see what I get. We're going to ditch the swamp. Draw a Shambler. Yeah, we've got enough aggressive little dudes coming out that I can let him take this trade. The sad part is when he gets a Centaur token, we're kind of boned. And that this could at least get through Centaur tokens, whereas the Racketeer cannot. Alright, Tavern Swindler is actually a pretty good draw, because we can play that and get our Promenade down. So happy to have her on the team. Not to mention we can do some swindling if we want to. I don't think there's many scenarios where you do, but you could. Armory Guard, that shuts us down pretty good, doesn't it? It's also a pretty good target for a stab wound. Or we could just play a Pack Rat and discard our hand. Pretty cool to discard the Sewer Shambler. I'm going to stab wound this. No, because then he just gets the Guildmage and runs over us. I'm going to play the Pack Rat. Make him have something. Again, he very well could have the Supreme Verdict. He could have lots of bounce. There's plenty of things he could have here. But I think our plan is to build up a bunch of rats, bluster squall him, win game. Now I kind of wish I'd stab wounded it. So do I tap it to save 4 damage? No, I don't think I care. Do I? Am I going to stab wound it? I might now. Yeah, let's tap it, stab wound it, start making rats. Win game. Do not mind trading either of these for his Knight token and getting in for some damage. And we're going to stab wound this guy, and then we're just going to start making rats. I hope we don't end up making rats to chump block with, but if that's the route we've got to go, that's the route we'll go. Nope, not blocking. It is funny what you'll do to try to win a game. Vassal Soul, okay. Mountain, don't want to play that. I don't think so. We're not going to get to the point where we can discard 2 cards a turn, so may as well not. I guess I can play this to block the Knight token, but I don't even care about the Knight token. We're just going to discard the Sewer Shambler. Well, if I play the Jailbreaker, I can double block this guy, but I kind of want to leave him there. Yeah, I think I'm just going to start making rats. We don't have to get in for much more before we're ahead on this race. Trade off the Racketeer. Like 1 Pursuit of Flight, and we can get a hit in with something. Alright, Centaur token. Going to go ahead and discard the Shambler. We may eventually decide we want the lands. Augur Spree, that's pretty good. Yeah, I think we're going to be casting that. Probably on a Vassal Soul. For now, I'll take discarding a card and getting rid of that Centaur token. Gonna sort of play around Giant Growth and double block it. Like right now, I don't even have to discard the card. We can make him do something first. Nothing? Okay. This is going to put us to 8. What did I miss there? I had 2 2/2s and he had a 3/3, and both my pack rats died. Why? Oh, because when one of them took the extra damage, it killed it. Learning how to play the game would be pretty handy for me. Now we've got ourselves in a little bit of a pickle. Shows you how often I have played with pack rat. Answer: not very often. Think we may have tossed that one away. He has bounced his Armory Guard. You know, I guess we just go all in on our little Tavern Swindler person here. It's still quite possible that we can win this game, despite that massive punt. I didn't quite get how that worked. No sense showing him the Rogue's Passage yet. Man, that was terrible. Essentially what happened, for those of you who were as lost as I was when it happened, is he dealt enough to kill one pack rat and then 1 damage to the other one. So when the second pack rat disappeared, the other one only had 1 toughness because they grow with each other. So if I just discarded a card, I would have had 2 pack rats at the end of it. But because I'm a noob sauce and didn't, it got me. So here I think we just give this a shot. If he's got a bounce spell, he's got a bounce spell. We're still not quite dead, but he's got to have specifically Dramatic Rescue right now or we win. Okay. Whew, that was close. Still pretty bad play with the pack rat. You guys remind me next time we bump into that so that I don't do that again. Ugh, that was bad. I don't think we want to make any changes. We've seen some big drops, so Skullrend could be a thing, but I'm still just not a fan of this card. It is 2 random cards, but it's 5 mana, and that's a lot. I like the plan we're on. After that last round and that misplay, it's pretty easy to fall in the trap of saying, well, you know, I won, so it doesn't matter. But it really does matter. If you make little mistakes like that and you can learn from them each time, you can get a heck of a lot better at this game. This hand's okay. It needs some things to develop, but we've got plenty of 2-drops. I think I'm going to keep it and see if we can draw one. I'd even be happy with a Bellows Lizard at this point. I'd actually be pretty stoked about a Bellows Lizard. Less so now. And 2-drop. Or Swamp. I like Swamps too. What's scary about the token decks is when they get that first token. You know, they're just sitting there holding a wad to populate stuff, waiting to bust it out there. I think what we're going to do is just plan on annihilating firing that token so that we don't have to deal with it. Because his plan is certainly going to be to make one, and the less populating shenanigans he can get going, the better. And now we've even got 2 ways to do it. think it's pretty easily going to be the Annihilating Fire route that we go, though. No token for you. Okay, Griffin I can handle. Hell, we can put a stab wound on that and let it sit there. There's our Bellows Lizard. A little late to the party, aren't you, bud? Jailbreaker just sits here and looks kind of dumb. Pursuit of Flighting this guy opens it up to any form of removal he has. He could arrest it. He could do any number of horrible things to it. We know he's got a Vitu-Ghazi Guildmage, so we want to hold one piece of removal. I think we just need to use up our mana and play the Jailbreaker. I'm not a huge fan of it, but could draw a gate. That's a thing that could happen. And then we've got quite a beast here, as we can Pursuit of Flight it. Oh, okay, Common Bond. You want to race. Well, I know how to race. We'd have to use 2 spells to get rid of that. Because Augur Spree makes it gigantic. We can Stab Wound it and Augur Spree it and leave ourselves pretty screwed. I think what I'm going to do now is Stab Wound it and get my Bellows Lizard out. Next turn we can Pursuit of Flight him. If he doesn't play something more threatening, like, say, his Guildmage, then we're in fairly good shape. But this is still going to be a difficult one. Guildgate would still not be a bad draw. Keening Apparition, you say. Now we're kind of screwed to a Griffin. We're going to need an answer for that stat, and I'm not really sure what we can do. You going to detain my lizard, dude? That's just mean. Alright, there's our Guildgate. So I think we go all in on this one. Pursuit of Flight here. That's me getting in for 6. He's got a 3-turn clock here. This is a 3-turn clock here. I'm getting the first swing. Because I knock him to 12, he knocks me to 8, I knock him to 6. I think he chump blocks, though, so that means this guy's got to get out of the way. We're kind of out of gas, so if he has anything, it could get us here. Giant Growth could be a thing if he doesn't attack. That's something we should be leery of. Eyes in the Skies would be a pretty big play from him. Skymark Rock, that would be a pretty good play from him. Bluster Squall would be a pretty good play from us. I don't think there's any chance at all he wants to trade this for his Skymark Rock. So we need 3 for that, so I can pump him once. Doesn't really do much, but so for those of you who thought that Splashing Bluster Squall was a little silly, I think it's going to win this game. Then again, maybe not. This is pretty intense. We can pump 1, 2, 3. Death by Bellows Lizard. That could be a thing if he doesn't have a Drudge Beetle in his hand. Of course, otherwise we're kind of just dead. How about that? Bluster Squall got us there. Kind of a shame he didn't let us kill him with the Bellows Lizard, but I can understand. That would be a little embarrassing. like I said, really goofed up in that second game, but fortunately we're able to come back from it. I guess that's one of the challenges about playing with rares that you haven't played with before, that you might not be aware of the interactions. But for reference, that would work with like anthems. Let's say you had a bunch of 1/1 tokens out and an intangible virtue, and somebody, I don't know, electrickeries you and then disenchants the intangible virtue. All your tokens are dead. They can do it in that order instead of the other one. So that's good information to have in our Magic toolbox. Anyway, looks like despite that, we have made it to the finals, and I will see you for those in about 2 minutes.